So I have in front of me my workbench, and I downloaded blandco.zip. I unzipped it and I put that in my workspace. There it is. And I also have in Microsoft Word, I have the directions, SQL Activity 1. And I'm going to look at that as I go through this. Yeah. There it is. All right. So there's nothing to turn in here. If you don't, the benefit to following along is your learning and your reinforcement. So you're going to need these SQL commands on the exams. You're going to need these SQL commands in your work. I'm not going to try to collect this for participation trophies. So what I want to do here is reintroduce you to the SQL select statement. Your work, so the scenario is this: you work for a small professional services company, which I have called Blandco, and they keep track of all of their consulting work. So I have 3 tables: employees, customers, and engagements, right? I need to keep track of my employees, I need to keep track of my customers, and I also need to keep track of the work in a table called engagements. So I give you this data file called blandco.sql. So I'm going to walk through the script here, and I'm going to create, first I'm going to create those tables. And I'm going to end up with those 3 tables: employees, customers, and engagements. And I'm going to then go through these commands. And here at the end of the document is a picture that shows me the relationship between employees, engagements, and customers. So by way of conversation, what would you say is the primary key of, say, employees? ID, bingo. And so you can see that there's a little picture there of a key. Here, there's also a ID column here in engagements. There's also an ID column here in customers. There's no law that says that all the primary keys have to be named the same. There's no law that says they all need to be named differently. So I can have employees.id, engagements.id, and customers.id as separate columns. So an employee, how does an employee record get associated with or related to an engagement, which is like a project? Can somebody tell me the two columns that are at play there? What is connecting the employee with their engagement that they're working on? Yes. Role. No, not role. Role tells me, well, I didn't give you a data dictionary, right? So it's not obvious, maybe. But my employee, I've got a first name, last name, and role is going to be: are you a manager? Are you a data analyst? Are you a programmer? Are you a network admin? What's your role? And hire date is when you hire. Yes. Employee ID in the engagements table. Yeah. So this actually I'm making a deal out of this because this actually throws some students off a little bit. They say, well, Schaefer, you drew a line here, right? So obviously role connects to, I don't know what that connects to, but it does. No, it's not where the line is. It's the primary key connecting to, and it's going to be one of these columns. You do have the benefit of some color coding here, which you would not have on a paper and pencil exam, which is why I'm calling this out. But chances are good it's going to connect to, first, it's going to connect, ID is going to connect to a column of the same data type. So ID is not going to connect to status. ID is not going to connect to project name. ID is not going to connect to ID. That would be kind of silly, right? That would, it has, yeah, that's the ID of the engagement. So that would be a colossal coincidence that my employee ID is the same as the engagement ID. I don't know how often that would happen. But employee underscore ID seems like a real strong candidate. And that is in fact how the connection is going to happen, right? Similarly, the customer has an ID, and the customer table is related to engagements through this column over here, the customer ID. Okay. And the relationships are one to many, or what's the double? Yeah, that very good. Yeah, I wasn't going to get into the cardinality, but yes, since you asked, an employee one can have many engagements, and an engagement, every engagement needs to have an employee. Right? So hopefully, if I'm an employee, I have many projects, not just a one project employee. And we would hope that customers might come back for many projects, but every project's got to have a customer. Otherwise, what am I doing? Right? Okay. So let's get this table into our data. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm actually going to keep the instructions now that I've shown you the picture, because the picture is like the best part. I'm going to keep the instructions on my other screen while I go through the rest. Let's get this into a database so I can play with it. All right, I'm in Workbench, and I have Workbench all set up. You had this set up previously because you did project one, and I'm going to double tap on that card there, and it's going to drop me into my current database. I don't know why. There we go. Make a new tab. I'm just zooming in a little bit here. So in my system here, in my Workbench, I have a database I created, and the first thing I need to do is I need to use that database, because conceivably by the end of the semester I might have like 3 or 4 of these, right? So I need to tell Workbench which one, even though it might seem obvious, I need to tell it which one to use. So this is the newest thing that we're going to do today. This is super new. I have to say use, and then JS0 blue. And the reason I said JS0 blue was because that was the name of my database. You type in the name of your database, semicolon, lightning bolt. And when I do that, you'll notice that on the left, I got a visual indication that this database is now active, and I see some detail. If ever you don't see what you expect to see over here on the left, there is a, zoom in just a little bit more, there is a little recycle refresh icon. It looks right there. There it is. And you can always refresh that area by hitting that refresh and watch it go. Right? All right. I have a database. I'm using it. I would like to put some data in there now. So I'm going to go click File, Open SQL Script, go find it. It's the one in my workspace, the one I just downloaded and unzipped. It has to be the .sql file, not the .zip file. Open, and it's going to open that up, and it's going to give me a whole bunch of SQL commands. And what do? They make the tables, and they stick data in the tables. So that looks really great. I'm going to hit the lightning bolt up here. And I'm going to see a flurry of green activity down the bottom. Right? I got a couple warnings. I don't worry about warnings. Right? But it made a bunch of rows, created some stuff. So I'm going to pause right there because this is where somebody is going to be stuck. And if you're stuck, I want to help. All right, there. One. Now the database is active. Go back to the tab, run it all. Good. Everybody else good? Fantastic. All right. It would be super cool if I could actually see the tables over here on the left. Yeah, I remember that little recycle button I just mentioned 2 seconds ago. If I tap that, everything refreshes, and son of a gun, I can see the tables over on the right, or left, I should say, over on the left. All right, fine. So now I'm ready to do some stuff, ready to do some work. Task 1 says selecting from a single table. So we're going to write the SQL statement that will list all employees. Starting out slow, guys. We're starting out easy. Yes. I got one fist pump. Yes. All right. So I'm going to, I have a little icon up here to make a new tab, right? And I'm going to also zoom in because I should be able to see what I'm, come on. It's very hard to do with my, there it go. So I can do that, right? Select star from employees, semicolon, and go. And there we go. We did it, right? There's all my employees. Couple things. The semicolon at the end is kind of optional. It's there just for flourish, right? It actually serves a purpose, but when I'm just doing one statement at a time, it can be omitted. The other thing you might notice is that I did not do this. JS0 blue. So when you were in data analytics, you were kind of conditioned to always write your queries that way. At least that was the way it was back when I taught that course. Because I used the use command and I set the context here of the whole session, I don't need to specify the database. It's like, yeah, the database you in, run it here. Right? So my statements can be a lot more simple. Select star from employees. So this one's good, right? Everybody's good with this. Fantastic. Yes. It didn't run because the tables weren't there yet. All right. That's one. Woo. Next one. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to do one tab for every question. 1B. List all employees showing only first name, last name, and role. Yes, I'm sorry. No, it's a single equal sign. Single equal sign in a SQL. All right. Okay. Next. So, oh my gosh. I don't want all of this. I just want the first name and the last name. How do I know? How do I know if it's first underscore name or F name or first name all one word? How do I know? I can look at the schema diagram. I can look at the output. I can look at the Explorer off on the left. Here are my columns, and I see that it's first name, last name. Great. So select first underscore name, comma, last name from employees, semicolon, for emphasis. Select. There they are. There's my 10 employees, first name and last name. Great. Moving on. 2, find the names of all the employees who are consultants. So if I were to come over here, I can see there's that role that we talked about before. We have a role of consultant, project manager, analyst, developer, and so on. So I would like to make a new query. Select, does it say find the names? So this will be first name, comma, last name from employees where role, and I'm actually going to put this on another line just so you can see it, where role equals, quote, consultant, close quote. Okay. And that should get me fewer than 10, right? Because I had 10 employees. And if I run this, I can see that I get five employees. Now, if you want to, and that works whether you've put role up here in your field list or not. But just so that my mind can be rest at ease, I'm going to actually add in comma role up here and run like that, and I can see that those are in fact all consultants. Okay, are we doing all right? Good. So let's talk about that. Simple statement. Simple statement. What clauses did we? So we talk when we talk about language, we have clauses in our statements. So what? And I'll give you a hint. I have them broken down into 3 separate lines. So I've got 3 clauses. What are my clauses? Yeah, I got the select clause, I got the from clause, and I got the where clause. All right. So again, sometimes we'll get statements like when I'm writing code, everything might be jammed into one line, and you'll get an error message and it'll say, "Hey, you got an error in the where clause," and your brain should immediately be able to say, "Oh, you mean down in here near the word where," because that's the where clause of this statement. How about the use of commas? Um, I didn't do 2B yet. I didn't do 2B. 2B. So this is 2A. 2B says find the names of employees who are either consultants or analysts. Okay. So that means I'm going to go to the where clause and I'm going to spiff that up a little bit, right? Anybody tell me what I need to do? Somebody's probably already done it. Yes, go ahead. Or role equals analyst. Perfect. Nicely done. Could you do it without the role equals? No, that is the tricky part. That is what I really wanted to call out. So let me run that because this will make. I'm going to make sure I spelled the word analyst right. I'll just make a typo there. But you cannot do this. Right? If I try to run that, it ran, but it didn't give me the right number. You see what happened there? So this is where role equals consultant or false. I mean, this was evaluated as a true-false statement, right? That's not what I meant at all. What you meant was this, where the role is equal to consultant or the role equals to analyst. So that's a very, very common sort of mental problem when students are learning SQL. So let's talk about that. What are the commas used for? Where have I used commas And what did I use them for? Somebody wasn't talking. I'll give somebody else a chance. Yes, Sarah. Beautiful. In the select clause, and I use them to specify a field list, a collection of things. This thing, comma, the next thing, comma, the next thing. Notice I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Why? Because a list makes no sense in the where clause. So I'm going to put it back the way it should be. What does make sense in the where clause is something that can evaluate to true or false. That's why I need to use the magic words of and, or, not. And I'm doing comparisons. Here is the role equal to consultant or the role equal to analyst. Okay, great. I'm going to keep going. 3, order by. Great. Order by. Okay. List all 3A. List all customers sorted by company name. Ooh, tricky. So it would be select. Oh my gosh. Select star from customers. I'm going to just start with that, and then I'm going to kick it up a notch, and I want to order by the company name. And I could have. The reason I did this is because I like to just kind of quickly eyeball what the column name is. Looks like it's company name. So it'd be order by company name, semicolon, zoom out, run that thing, and see if I get, look, so I've got Arcane Corp, Brightco, Cedar Solutions, Dynasoft, Elm Tree LLC. So that looks like it's in alpha order to me. A, B, C, D. That wasn't so bad, right? Here's a common mistake. This don't work, right? That's incorrect syntax. It's order by. So we have the order by clause. It's a clause. Yeah, it's part of the language. Yep. I'll take the semicolon off. Yeah. There you go. And now it should magically work. Yes. Good. And run. Good. Yep. How come I can't use line breaks? You can. I've got a line break right here. Why can't? So the question is, why doesn't this work, right? Because the semicolon means the statement is done, right? So the first statement's valid, but the second one is a bug because order by is just all on its own, right? So semicolon means it's like a period at the end of a sentence. Right? Complete. Ready for the next one. All right. Okay, this one's tricky. This is 3B, 3B, 3B. So list all employees by last name and then by first name. That is to say, roster order. Now here's something that I don't think you get anywhere else. So you can get it from Schaefer. All of the order by clauses that you see in the data analyst class are like on one column, right? Which is kind of weird. Like if I walk into this room and I do roll call on the first day of class, like I might have like Billy Adams, Jesse Adams, Mabel Adams, and then I go on to Zachary Bartholomew, right? What's going on there? Well, I'm ordered by the last name, and then there's like a secondary sort on first name within the last name, and you don't need any crazy grouping structure or anything to do it. It's just a field list. It's a list of fields that I would like you to sort on, and you sort on the first one first, and you sort on the second one second, and the third one third if you need to. So Come on, man. All right, so list all employees by last name. So select star from employees, order by last name, comma, first name. And that's it. That's it. Right. So David Chen here comes before Isabella Davis, comes before Elena Garcia, because this is the first short order, C, D, G, J, K. And if I keep going down, I think I might have put some fun stuff in there. Yeah, I don't have any matches. I think I have the matches in the customers. But so Alice Smith appears way down here, even though her first name begins with A. And this could be different from just ordering by last name. Many students seem to think that that is the same as that, and they're really different, right? In an important way. Once I get some quantity of it data. Okay, I was sorting by order by. For grouping and counting, produce a unique list showing all the industries served by Blandco. Oh my word, what do I have to do here? So let me zoom in, and I'm going to say select star from industries. Where's industries? Let me go dig. Is that in customers? Industries. So select star from customers. So you can see that I have multiple customers. I've got about 20 customers, but like at least like Arcane Corp and Ivy Tech are both technology companies. What if I just want just the industry? I could. There's two ways of doing that. I'm going to show you one of the two ways, which would be to say, give me all the industries, right? That gets me my 20 records, but then I can say group by industry, right? And that's going to reduce the list. Right? So now I've got 16. So I had some duplicates in there. Hey, here's a weird observation. I grouped them, but they're not in alphabetical order. You see that? Finance, technology, healthcare, education, design. Do you mean to say that grouping and ordering are different? Yes, grouping and ordering are different concepts. Grouping is getting things together in piles, right? Ordering is what sequence should the piles go in. So if I want alpha order, I'd say order. I could type order by industry. And now I get my 16 names in order. That's a little side quest there. That's not on the assignment or the activity, but I thought it was worth calling out. Grouping and ordering are different. I want to know how many companies are in each category. So I'm going to break this up into clauses from group order by, my 4 clauses. Somebody help me out here. What do I have to do if I want to know how many companies I have in each, how many companies I have in each of those industry categories? Yes. Yes, I will use count. What line number do I use count? Line. No, count doesn't go down here. Count is going to be something I want to see in the results. So it comes up here in the field list. What's that? Yeah, in the select clause. Yes, correct. So it'd be comma, count, and then I have to say, well, what am I counting? And when in doubt, count star is usually a pretty good bet, right? Or if I wanted to, I could say count ID because the ID is guaranteed to be there, present, not null. But either of these are fine. And now I've got what's beginning to look like a mildly useful report for Blandco Industries. I can see that I have, I've only got one advertising, one agriculture, one biotech, but I've got 2 finance and 2 healthcare and 3 technology companies, right? So I can see that. All right. So I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to the end. Darn it. So we're going to do the EPA thing next class for sure. Yes. Yeah. I love that question. So you want the most frequent companies at the top. Love it. So your instinct was correct. Anything up here, by the way, in the field list can be ordered by. Right? It's a good kind of lesson there. So count, right? And I do that, and you're like, all right, well that's close, but I'd like the bigger numbers at the top. That's descending. Yeah. So I can say descending there. And then so there's my technology, finance, and healthcare. And then if I want to be really fancy, I could say comma industry. And that would get me 2 layers of sorting. That would mean that all of my ones are in alphabetical order. Right? So first I have technology, then I have finance, then I have healthcare, because F comes for H, and then advertising all the way down through transportation. A nice secondary sort order makes reports like usable. And again, I know it's only silly little play data, but what if I had 200 of these things and I'm going to give it to my boss? Do I have to put it in Excel and then sort it and then it's a quick ad. All right, 146. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then I'll stop. Yeah, this is a good one. Shoot. Oh yeah, I can do it. I got 5 minutes. Okay, grouping and summing. Um, I'm on number 5 now. Using the sum aggregate function, find the total hours billed for each customer ID. You do not need to show the customer name here. Okay, so I've got hours billed is going to exist inside of the engagements table, right? So let me come down here to employees, engagements. There's my engagements table. There's my hours billed. And I want to know the total hours billed for each customer ID. So like I billed 40 hours to customer 1. I billed 30 hours or 20 hours to customer 2. I billed another 30 hours to customer 1. So I'm going to group on customer ID and I'm going to sum hours billed. Let's see if I can do it without too much hassle. That's pretty good. As good as I'm going to get. There it is. So I'm here. That would be, let's see. I would like to group by customer ID. And I'm not going to be able to see all of those things, but I do want to see the customer ID. And then the total hours billed. So I guess that would be the sum of hours billed. There it is. And I don't need the prefix there. So something like that. Select the customer ID, sum up the hours billed, and run it. And just for laughs, I'm going to put an order by clause in there. Order by customer ID. Okay. I run that. And I can see that I got 88 hours billed for customer 1, 73 hours billed for customer 2, and so on. Able to do that okay? Yeah? Good. So I'm going to make somebody's head explode. Right? I'm just going to go, ah! I'm going to change the word sum to the word count and rerun that. And I get 4 and 4 and 3 and 1. That was the count of hours billed. What just happened? I mean, I know I changed sum to count, but
You're looking for how many iterations with the count
right.
versus how many are actually
Yeah.
what's the total value?
Yeah. So I have 4 bills in my wallet, right? I got a $20 bill, a $5 bill, a $1 bill, and a $10 bill. Well, the amount of money I have in my wallet is not 4, right? But I kid you not, I get a lot of this. You know, I'll have a question on an exam and say, "Oh, professor, I didn't know I was supposed to use sum. Well, what were you trying to do? You know, what I mean, it's a little frustrating, right? So, sum and count are very, very different things, even though they both involve adding. So that was 5, and we're going to pick right up there. I'll probably reinforce that at the start of next class. There's nothing to turn in here. I would encourage you to, if you couldn't follow along, get at least as far as step 5. And if you have been able to follow along, uh, do yourself a favor and just try 6, 7, 8, 9. And you just want to save your work, because this is sort of, I do ask questions like this on exams and so on. So, all right, that's where I'm going to stop. Thanks for your attention. We got there. We'll do the EPA stuff next time. Take care.